everybody. If you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so we're back for Love During Lockup. The 7-Year Wait, Season 5, Episode 55. Okay. Now, I just want to say, first of all, I'm up early because I need to work on my reports. Number 2, I do not appreciate all that's been happening this week. And it's probably not the things y'all think. I don't like that the Southeast is getting pummeled with snow. The Northeast is where school has stopped. The roads are stopped. But New York City manages to avoid this. We didn't get any kind of snowstorm. We got light dustings. And we all know that if New York City don't do nothing else, they will not pick up your trash. They will not come and fumigate apartments necessarily next to you after somebody moves out. They will not fix your elevators. They will not pick up your trash, but they will salt them roads so you can get to work despite your situation. Okay, and I feel a way about it. I feel a way. But nevertheless, I'm going to continue. So all y'all who got off, I really hate the city that never sleeps, except for during COVID. Really doesn't sleep. And it's at the expense of us, the working class. Okay, anyway. So Tia and Rob, she's going to pick up her, her prison boo. And she thinks it's a good idea to introduce her 7-year-old daughter to him straight out of jail. Even though she's never been introduced to any other man other than her father. She only knows this man through the phone. I can't. Absolutely unacceptable. You should have kept that baby at home. Get the speech ready. We're going to do this, that, and the other in line. Miss me, okay? She goes to drop baby girl off. Well, I thought was going to drop baby girl off with her family, but instead, she's bringing her family with her, the cousin and stuff, because once she picks him up, she said all she wants them to do is hunch. I said, okay, girl, how about that? Where is your sister, the one who was telling you to watch him because he keep making up stories? Why ain't you just leave the baby home with her? You got family. Stop playing with us, okay? Anyway, or Nana, because we know Nana ain't gonna let nothing happen. All right, anyway. Nevertheless, Tia, I keep accidentally calling her Teeny, but anyway, so she meets up with his friends and family outside the jail. Now, I will say, the unusual part was that the family was happy to see her, embrace her, and there doesn't seem to be any tension at all. The way we've seen family members battle and mistreat the person who's been taking care of them in prison, so on and so forth, i.e. Louie's mother, i.e. Rob's mother, and the way, they've treated these people. Melissa's father, even, he got better though. But I'm just making a point. So even if he has other chicks, there seems to be only one that the family knows about, which I personally find, based on today's standards, respectful. Okay. Anyway, so he got out. He comes out. Was I the only one that felt like he looked around, like he didn't see her or his family? I said, is he about to just run across the street? Like, he just looked like, I'm not sure if I really want to see them yet. Anyway, but that could just be I'm finally outside kind of thing. So he seems to have a lot of family support, which I think is great. I really do. I think he'll be okay, because when you have so many people who not have your back out of loyalty, like, oh, regardless of what you did, but are there to support you so it doesn't happen again. Him talking about having lost his mother while he was in jail and how he knows that really hurt her and how she'd be proud. I think he'll be okay. He seems like somebody who got caught up, got in trouble, but can get his life back on track. So I think I actually kind of like him, knock on wood. Anyway, and the other thing I liked about Rob is that he seems grateful for her support. and he took her to the side and he said, look, I apologize. I know I've been snappy. I know I've been getting upset. And to me, that was a nice, healthy scene to see him with his family, to see him, acknowledge having done her wrong instead of trying to gaslight her. And I thought that was really good to see, like, a black family doing that, regardless of whether he's getting out of jail. I mean, he's getting out of jail. He ain't going in. It was at least until they got in the car and Tia, you laying on his lap, tongue kissing him while your daughter's in the back and your cousin family is sitting there. Tia, for real? For real? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Why'd you bring that baby to that shit? You should just left it at home if you was going to be acting like that. Anyway, so then we get... Savannah has got to be one of the dumbest, most basic tricks we've seen on here in a while, okay? Now, the thing with Savannah and Bradley, whose name is spelled wrong, is this ain't gonna make it. I'm not totally convinced that Alyssa is lying. I think that's definitely the conversations going on in their family, but nevertheless. So anyway, she claims she would never. Savannah walked out the furniture store. They all ghetto and shit. They didn't even buy nothing, and it was in there screaming stuff. You can tell that is not the kind of store. It's not like other stores. Like if you go in Target and hear people having conversations, that's normal, right? If you go in Walmart, you already know what's up. But like a furniture store is not like that. Decorum, people, decorum. Okay. Anyway, so Alyssa came out crying and said she felt ambushed. By her bringing up all this stuff, and she said they were friends before her brother became her boyfriend, and Alyssa was like, I give less than a fuck about him, or it seemed like that because that's what they bleeped out. And Savannah said, well, that's clear. Let me tell you something. I don't care what me and my siblings are going through. Don't you ever in your life get so comfortable with me that you feel like you can tell me how much I care and love about my brother. Don't do it. Or sister, don't do it. And you are not his wife. I might even let some of this stuff slide if y'all were married, but it's a no for me. It's a no. And anyway, both of them really seem like toxic friends. Whatever. And this is a friendship that cannot be rebuilt. It's gone too far. It can't. Physical fighting, like for real. If they were sisters, that's probably the only reason why I could see them making an adjustment just by blood and relationship. But no. Anyway, Bradley calls and she tells him that Alyssa and their whole family hates her. All right. She was like, we all know she's crazy. I was like, Savannah, we have seen you on TV right now acting a whole fucking fool, buying a wedding dress for a wedding that is not going to happen. And you have the nerve to say, we all know Alyssa's crazy. We only saw her on camera for maybe 7 minutes. Now, is she? Yeah. But you ain't the one that gets to call it out. Anyway, so Bradley said, well, that's an understatement. I was like, and you in jail. Like, y'all are not the people that get to be the judge and jury here, okay? So anyway, I say again, were these people not taught to not talk about other people's family to their family members and never let anybody talk about your family to you? Like, and they ain't nowhere near married. Like, that's not how that works. It's rude. You stay out of people's family business. Anyway, so then she says, I know it's not true, but I need to ask anyway. She said, are you going to break up with me as soon as you leave prison? I wanted to go, yes. Is there someone else? He was like, no, ma'am. And he was like, that doesn't even make sense. If I was, I would have already done it. I said, no, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have, because she's sending you money. Not while in prison. Now, that may be how you do women on the outside when you're free. But see, jail don't offer you that kind of liberty to just go breaking up with people and be able to find another chick like that. Okay? You need to ask Hunter had it. But we all know she ain't the only one. Anyway, Bradley's lying. But Savannah lives on the plantation, so fuck her. Anyway, so she meets up with her friends for dinner. Both of them have been in rehab as well. And it's kind of one of those, and this is not, I hope it's not as deep of a read as it's about the sound. But they seem like it's a lot of the same kind of people in her life. And I'm not saying going to rehab isn't good, and people, but certain kinds of people don't need to be around each other. And quite frankly, the other two, the white girl and the black guy, seem like they are on a much better path just by their clear-headed thinking than to be around the likes of Savannah. Because she's the kind, she'll pull you back down. You see how she treated Alyssa. Anyway, so both of them, so Bradley calls in the middle of their dinner, and of course, they seem to be at what appears to be a nice restaurant, and she has her prison bae on the speakerphone. The speakerphone at a nice restaurant. Miss me. They should have put her ass out of there. And says, she's basically telling him he needs to get a tattoo on his forehead with her name. And the friends are already looking like, you out your damn mind. And her friends tell her it's crazy, that he should not do it. He's in agreement, they're in agreement. The black friend looks it up and says, you do realize that people, tattoo artists discourage you getting the name of a partner on you because it tends to be a kiss of death of the relationship. I agree. Ain't that much love in the world. You don't need to do that. Why? Like, why? A mother, sure, that'll always be your mother. A daughter, a son, fine. A bit much, but fine. Nah. Anyway, so he said all of this talk about the forehead, getting her name on his forehead and stuff like that. The black guy was like, it's probably her seeking attention that she's not getting. And I said, you know what? That's where it starts and stops. We can now move on. All right. Now here's another. I hate to call people stupid. I mean, I hate to call people stupid and mean it. So I'm going to try not to. But here is the next person who has been led astray and willingly went astray and is going to stay astray if they don't get it together immediately. So, Sam and Crystal, he went to go visit her. So he said, you know, them holding hands in prison is what holds him over. And then when he leaves, the loneliness sets in. I said, that holds you over? Anyway, so she's upset, especially somebody you never knew on the outside. Baby, please. So she's upset that her grandmother, Rita, didn't come, even though she doesn't usually go. So I'm just like, this woman is in her 70s. And you had him drive 30 minutes out the way to go and check on your grandmother. All of a sudden, you're so hysterical about this grandmother that you should be taking care of had your dumb ass not gotten in a bunch of bullshit trouble. Anyway. So he picks up Grandma Rita and asked her what happened. You know, how come you didn't come? And she was like, I can't run every time she hollers. And I said, Sam, regardless of what you think about that response, I'm going to need you to embrace that response for yourself. Because this is not your blood. Either one of them. All right? So he also tells us that Rita could make more of an effort to see Crystal, and instead she puts more of an effort into going to restaurants and shopping with him. Because you take her, and going to a restaurant and going shopping is far more enjoyable than going to prison. Okay? And having people search you on your way in like you're a criminal. Additionally, this is just giving poor white trash through and through. Okay, the grandmother trying to mess around with the granddaughter's husband and all this other... It's a mess. So he tells her that she's worried, that Crystal is worried. I always have to think twice because Sam can be a girl's name too. I have a girl student named Sam. He tells her that Crystal is worried. She's going to die soon and wants to see her. Rita, you can tell on her face, did not appreciate being put in the grave before she was ready, okay? So she called and said she worries about her. Crystal calls, on the speakerphone in the restaurant because none of them have any couth. Fuck we TV. Y'all go outside and have them conversations. So she called and said she worries about her, and I didn't appreciate everything you did when I was there. And pause. Side note. Why was Crystal calling her grandmother Rita? Not Grandma Rita. Not Granny. Not Nana. Not Big Mama. Well, white people don't really use that, but nevertheless. Why are you calling your grandma by her first name? See, that already tells me that you mad disrespectful and you one of them people going to end up in trouble again. Just because you don't have basic respect. Okay, white people are wild. They are wild. I know you didn't appreciate that, but my thing is like, why all of a sudden are you having this hysterical reaction? And quite frankly, Sam's doing everything. Like, it just seems, I don't know. Whenever white women start getting that hysteria, it's always something else. And then they try to convince you that it's not, they say a bunch of stuff, but it's really something else. Okay? Like the chick who was running behind Gavin Newsom, screaming at him and then demanding to hear his conversation with the president. Man, who the fuck do you think you are? Well, so I can tell people that you're actually doing your job. Gavin Newsom didn't need you telling nobody he was doing his job. The governor can get on and have a press conference all he wants to. You're upset, so are many other people upset, and that kind of hysteria was not about the fire, even though it should have been. It was about getting in this politician's face, and we all know you are a Trump supporter, and you thought that was acceptable. He handled it well, but you know what? Sometimes people, like, where was his security? Anyway, so Sam goes to see the parole lawyer. The parole lawyer is like, look, this is what they have down, okay, when we go for this hearing. And they keep bringing up the phrase specifically, deadly weapon. He said that's something they keep pushing. He said that's always bad news, all right? And he said, does she want to get out and have contact with her ex-husband, the same person who she went after with the weapon? And Sam says, well, her ex-husband has been to visit her since she's been in jail after this incident. And the lawyer is looking at him like, you dumbass. You are married to this prisoner. She's still seeing, and if she's seen him once, she's seen him several times. That's just the only time she's told Sam about it. And Sam is the running joke between them. Because if that relationship was that kind of toxic, where she went after him with a knife, I'm going to tell you, more than likely, he was very abusive. Because that usually is when women go after people with a knife and try to kill them. She doesn't strike me as somebody who would recognize what abuse is anyway, because she thinks because she fights back, it's not abuse. Because anybody that goes back to see you, it gives me that cyclical kind of abusive relationship, because the abuser still wants to have the abuse in their circle. And Crystal's one of those people that will just, that's just what they do. If somebody she can use, fine. And the lawyer then asks, okay, he says she cannot and shouldn't have any contact with this man for the rest of her life. And her having contact with him does not look good. He said, first of all, even alone, she shouldn't, just on the basis of look what happened when they were together. Why is she even talking to him? Because they're still in that abusive relationship cycle. The craziness of it all. So the lawyer didn't say it directly, but he essentially was like, she's playing you. She's probably still messing with him. Can you really wait 7 years? And quite frankly, you need to take care of yourself. He's trying to help you. Okay? He was like, a good lawyer doesn't give odds. But it didn't sound like to me he thinks she's going to get parole. Didn't I tell y'all something about that makes me think she's not going to get parole? She don't mind doing this show and doing them dumbass interviews because she can get some money for it. All right. MJ and Willie. MJ... Actually, I feel no desire to try with you. So she's going to see her mother, who is going through cancer. Prayers up. Y'all know I know. So she said earlier this year her mother was having headaches and found out she had cancer. And she was like, her whole world stopped. And trust me, I understand. That is one of the scariest, most painful feelings. And you don't really get over it. Certainly not until they're in remission. And even then, you're worried about what could happen. So she's on her way to the airport to see her mother, who's ailing from cancer, okay? And he immediately asks what she, Willie calls her on the phone, right? while she's getting ready to go to the airport. And he immediately asks, well, what are you going to do when you get there? Are you going there to mess around with your ex-husband, this, that, and the other? First of all, y'all don't need to be in a relationship. You've cheated. Okay? Granted, your boyfriend in prison, but it doesn't matter. You've cheated. He hasn't cheated with a woman as far as we know, because you know how them guards get down. Only because he's in prison. This son of a bitch said he forgives you and then brings it up all the time. He doesn't ask you, one, how you're feeling about seeing your mother, especially knowing that she's gone through chemo. That's why she doesn't have hair. All those things that when you're used to seeing your parent one way and then you see them another way, it rattles you because you've been dependent on your parent for so long, and it'll rattle you. It really will. So he's not asking about that. He's not asking, are you scared to see her? What can I say to help you? Because we know that's the extent of the help. Call me if you need to talk. He wants to talk about Ami. Ami ain't sick. Ami ain't got cancer. So my thing is, y'all not good for each other. Y'all not. Y'all both bored. You still mad about your ex-wife, Willie. I don't even understand why her and MJ broke up. I really don't. What happened? Anyway, so then Willie is talking to WeTV, and then we get to hear it. And he tells us he thinks Ami is a bum. See, that's where I had to stop. Because, Willie, sir, you're in jail. I need you to come up with a different kind of insult, because I don't think you are in any better position to call somebody a bum than Savannah and Bradley are in any position to call Alyssa crazy. Okay? Okay. So the mom has known Willie for 16 years because apparently in that small circle of the Tongan people, a lot of them moved to Utah, whatever. I hope they're not related. That big ass family her father had. Anyway, because he was a family friend for a long time. She tells her mom they plan to get married as soon as she gets out. And the mom is like, do you think he will change? She was asking all the right questions. Now, mind you, this woman, it looked like she may have been on her way to chemotherapy. Like, do you think he will change? She was like, well, I pray so. And, these are not things that you can simply pray away and hope. It just seems like, why do you want to get married to this man? Because you're lonely. You clearly don't have a problem going out and being with people. And I'm me, just the one person we know she slept with, which is her business, but just stop playing it in our faces. So the mother brings up Ami. She said, he treats you well, this, that, and the other. She liked him, basically, as her son-in-law. If somebody knows why they got divorced, because I don't remember why. I don't, or I just didn't hear it. If she slept with him the last time she was near him, and her mother likes him so much, I need details. I really do. And quite frankly, the mother says to her, what seemed like on the way back from chemo, because it looked like they were walking into a doctor's office, the mother says to her, if you plan to get married, then why are you still talking to your ex? I said, hello and good morning. And she was like, how do you know that? She was like, because her mother knows. Let me tell you something. I can call my mother, and I think I sound like everything is okay, and my mother will say, what's wrong? You seem down. I'm like, how does she know these things? And I don't appreciate the way you try to present your mother to us, MJ, talking about she's crazy. She'll say what she thinks, this and the other. Your mother is not crazy. Neither did she present herself as such. She didn't want to be on camera because she had chemo. All the things that she was saying and asking, she was actually asking them in a way to help you understand how crazy it was. She was giving you advice that a mother should give. And you just don't like what she's saying to you. And she's right. And your mother calling you out is what you need. So don't try to do that, woman, like that. I don't appreciate that at all. All right. Last but not least in terms of what it gave. All right, Jakima and Donnie. Help me. She reminds me so much of that other girl from Kentucky. All right, anyway. So he may be getting moved to a different prison, Donnie, as far as she knows. Okay, now you mind you, he's going to the hole, but he don't know why. He can't tell us. He didn't even make up no story. Like, he's been in a fight, and he was really nonchalant about it. So she read a letter. Apparently, it was the ticket, and finds out he has been trafficking drugs and selling them in prison. I said, baby, you bold. You bold. I'm scared of getting caught going through the wrong toll lane. Like, okay. So anyway, her name is cited in the letter, and she's been removed from his visitation list. Okay, I guess because he's been in communication with her. She has had nothing to do with the drugs. I know that. I believe her. Anybody like that, she doesn't mess with her. I believe all of that. Okay, but do you see how quick it is, how easy it is to get caught up in something? Anyway, but girl, you moved up there with the money he gave you, and that wasn't suspicious. Okay, I mean, it wasn't like he was working 10 hours a day or anything. I mean, I'm glad you moved up there with his money and not yours, but nevertheless. So you've clearly made a huge mistake. You have, Jakima. Just go back to Texas, tell your father everything, just in case anybody come looking for you, and get your life back on track. It won't take you long, because you ain't been up there that long. Yeah, it seems like the summer, because we haven't seen those boys in school. It looks like they're about to get ready to go. Just take them back down there. That's it. All right. So also, Donnie, not only is this your fault, okay, but something is wrong with you. Because I'm not going to even lean on Jakima too much. Donnie, this is your fault. And there is something wrong with you. You're in prison, going to the hole, and you're already in prison for drugs, and then continue to sell them while you're in there. Not only have you not learned your lesson, but there's something about you that is addicted to the money making and the rush that comes with money and the selling of drugs to get it. Like, your freedom isn't enough for you to chill out and think about other ways to do right, which means, as far as I'm concerned, he's criminally minded, right? He's always looking for a way to get over the system, the rules, to make money. Somebody like that is like the people on Wall Street. The only difference is between them and Donnie is they got the politicians in their back pocket and they get away with it. But the quote unquote housing crisis that isn't a housing crisis, it's just a refusal to provide affordable housing to the citizens of this fucking country. Okay, but I'm saying that kind of mentality, like you don't care as long as you have money in your pocket, that something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. Okay? And that tells me when you get out, if you get out, you will fall into the same trap. Because that's what you do. So she calls the jail, right? She asked for the information about what is going on because she got a ticket in the mail. She was like, my name is in it. She was like, I don't sell drugs. I don't mess with drugs. I don't do drugs. And I don't want anything to do with this. So the officer says, look, you're not on his emergency contact list. I can't give you specific information about anything. He said, the only thing I can tell you is that this inmate is no longer at this facility. Now, granted, sometimes people really don't know when people have been transferred, or somebody gets transferred and they're not allowed to communicate before they go. That does happen. But girl, go back to Texas. Go back to the deserts you are used to, okay? You will be okay. All right? Because if you've been named in a ticket, don't think he ain't the type that won't bring you down with him. Nino Brown. All right? She was mad at the officer for doing his job answering the phone, keeping his tone level. This is not his fault, ma'am. This is not his fault. He can't tell me that. No, he can't. He can't. This is his job. You mad at Donnie. Don't take it out on that man. Thank you, even though you helped with nothing. I'm like, he told you he ain't here no more. He told you ain't on his emergency contact list. This sounds like you need to call the court if it's a ticket. Anyway, and you need to call a lawyer too. And call your daddy so he can help you. That man ain't in the military. Anyway, nevertheless, that's all I have. I'll talk to y'all later. And enjoy your weekend. Bye.